Hi everyone. Our team members for this project are Aravind Sharma and Vivian Dang. We will be presenting our service learning final project titled Serving with Narrative Humility at Bridges. Here's a brief disclaimer that we did not take any pictures of students at our community site to use in this presentation. Our community placement was at the San Juan Unified School District Bridges After School Assets Program, specifically at Skycrest Elementary. The Bridges program is an after-school program designed to care for elementary school students via homework help, as well as engage them in various outdoor and indoor recreational activities. Our placement timings were from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on every Friday. Here's a brief history of the program. In 2001, Citrus Heights found a need for after-school programs for the youth and got funding approved for a program at Kingswood Elementary, specifically focusing on the blend of academics, recreation, and citizenship. In the following years, this program was expanded for 9 schools and continually receives city funding to continue running. There are various components to the after-school program's purpose and mission. Academic support is offered through homework help and skill-building opportunities to support student success. Enrichment and disguised learning activities are implemented through learning centers that help complement the regular school instruction. These activities can include core topics in nutrition, art, mathematics, science, reading, drama, and others. Pro-social skills recreation offers positive interaction and promotes social skills through structured team building and recreational activities. Lastly, parent support and empowerment is facilitated through ongoing communication and relationship building between program staff, school, parents, and the students. The Bridges After-School program serves a variety of different student populations. Students there range from grades 1 through 6 and seem to be from several different backgrounds, mainly Latin American, white, and some African American, serving approximately 3,000 students, grades K through 12, in 29 programs at 28 sites. The concept of ACEs, also known as Adverse Childhood Experiences, is relevant here because students at this after-school program come from several different backgrounds, and it can be difficult to tell sometimes what each child may be going through at home. Later, we'll be sharing an inside experience with one of the children that puts this concept into greater perspective.
During our time at Bridges, we found that narrative humility was an important concept to apply in order to serve our community partner. Narrative humility is essentially a mindset that we adapt when we listen to people share their experiences. The concept of narrative humility rests upon the fact that we have not had the unique experiences that each individual has gone through. And regardless of what we, the listener, think, we won't be able to truly understand or comprehend how individuals feel or are as a result of their experiences. Once that is understood, we are highly engaged as listeners, allowing us to learn as much as we can about the speaker's experience and mine. As a student of Dr. Dasgupta's once wrote in an essay, narrative humility is where you try to understand, realize that you will never understand, and try anyways.
How does narrative humility apply to our community partner? Narrative humility can easily be applied to our community partner as we can view serving the students at Bridges similar to serving patients in a healthcare setting. As volunteer interns at our community placement, it was our responsibility to allow the students we were serving to share stories and be open with us so that we could better understand issues from the community perspective. There was an instance where I was supervising and playing with some kids who were playing freeze tag. One of the students I observed was repeatedly not following instructions by one of the staff members and constantly going on the bike racks even though he was clearly instructed multiple times not to do so. He was also repeatedly going out of bounds of the play zone despite being told not to do that. At one point, he even fell down and scraped his knee on the ground, which started bleeding. I then took him to where he could wash off his wound and dry himself. During our walk back and forth, he suddenly started telling me about his situation at home. Apparently, his father did not have a stable paycheck and would come home and drink beer instead of spending time with his kids. I acknowledged the boy's comments, but didn't say much to him because I was surprised by what I heard. He washed off his wound and returned to playing with the other kids. At that moment, I began to understand why this boy's attention span was limited and why he may not be following directions. It was likely that this after-school program gave him some escape from events at home. Later, we moved inside the multi-purpose room to shoot some hoops because it was getting late outside. When it was time for him to be picked up, he turned to me and asked me what was my name. After I told him my name, he passed me the ball and said, "Thanks for talking to me today." This was an insightful moment that I faced at my community placement.
Before I start explaining the meaning behind the sculpture, I want to describe what the sculpture looks like just to be clear. This sculpture depicts two figures, one adult and one child. The adult is kneeling and is at face level with the child while holding a stethoscope to the child's heart. When creating this figure, I decided to leave everything uncolored except for the stethoscope made with red string and the child's heart. I wanted to emphasize the fact that this adult, the healthcare professional in this case, is the one serving. The fact that they are face to face demonstrates that what the child has to say and has gone through is important to the adult, which symbolizes narrative humility. Because the adult figure demonstrates narrative humility, the child has revealed their heart clearly, allowing the adult to listen to their heart. This same incident happened to Aravind, as he demonstrated narrative humility, which made the student feel comfortable enough around him to share his home experience. So how have we served bridges? Every Friday, Aravind and I volunteer at the Bridges program at Skycrest Elementary. Often volunteers in this program assist by helping through tutoring students during the allotted homework time or even running activities when it was time for structured recreation. However, Fridays at Bridges is usually free time where students play freely under supervision, choosing from the activities allowed for the day. Some of the activities outdoors are wall ball, foursquare, soccer, basketball, and jump rope. The activities indoors are board games like chess or Jenga, tablet time, and various crafting activities. During the outdoor recreation time, Aravind and I often assisted by playing with the students, often joining them in basketball, wall ball, foursquare, and even jump rope. Through this, we were able to interact with the students, making casual conversation and ensuring that they were all playing in good spirits without conflict. One experience that I had was in the beginning of the semester. I started by first observing the students and the rules of the game, in this case, wall ball. But the students actually pulled me into the game, insisting that I join their game, even going easy on me and teaching me the rules. Through instances like these, Aravind and I helped ensure that all the students were included and no conflicts arose, but at the same time, we were also enjoying ourselves. We also assisted the staff as we helped keep the peace while enforcing their directions among the students, whether it be keeping them in a straight line or making sure that everyone was listening. These pictures depict the time where Aravind and I participated in the craft activity of that day. Our site supervisor wanted to test and see if this activity was both viable and engaging to the students, and we volunteered to test it. While we were doing the activity, several of the students became interested and eventually became a fun group activity. Aravind and I helped to misread our supervisor by giving tips and instructions, and the students had fun creating their little dinosaurs. This event is an example of how we served Bridges weekly, as our actions contributed in creating a safe space for our students to have fun, stay engaged, and enjoy their Friday. So, what have we learned from serving Bridges? Through working with the students and staff at Bridges, we gained experience in working with younger children and learned to be patient and understanding, as the children were often very energetic on Fridays. In addition, we learned the importance of creating a fun and safe space for children to enjoy themselves. Through this, we saw how valuable it was for children to grow and develop in a space where they felt confident and safe. By serving Bridges, we were able to truly learn narrative humility as we listened to the experiences of the staff members at Bridges and the stories that the students had to tell us. This semester, Aravind and I had the privilege to serve Skycrest Elementary in their Bridges program. We had the chance to work with children and help create a fun and safe environment for them to grow and learn. By applying the concept of narrative humility, we learned more about their community and had experiences that we otherwise wouldn't have. Thank you for listening to our final presentation, and we thank you for the chance to share our experience and what we learned. Thank you.